I'm Warren Webster, president of Patch.com. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here. I had forgotten about that meeting that we had. You know, it's funny, we weren't always in the corporate category. It was when we started Patch back in 2008. We were 10 guys locked up in a room for a year with old pizza boxes and a borrowed office uptown, trying to figure out how to solve this information problem. So when we finally launched our three first sites in Maplewood, South Orange, and Millburn, New Jersey, it came as quite a shock when we found out that, of all people, the New York Times were in the same towns. So we put on the suits, we dusted off the briefcases, and we went to see them. But we realized they were great people, and we've been friends ever since. So that was way before we were acquired by AOL in 2009. So is everyone familiar with Patch and what we do? Yeah, pretty much. Not everyone. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through just quickly how we came about and what we're doing now. We were founded in 2008 by Tim Armstrong, who at the time was the vice president of advertising for Google. And he was in his hometown in Connecticut looking for a place to volunteer with his family. And realized, going to the web as a Google guy, that there was not a lot of consistent information out there, a lot of the key information that you need to know about what organizations are doing, people that need volunteers. Looking deeper, he found that news coverage had really dwindled. And that just piqued his interest. Long story short, he hired me and the head of his investment company. We set about spending a year looking at every model that we possibly could for solving this problem. And we realized a few things. First, we realized that there's no substitute for actual feet-on-the-street journalism, that you really, as an internet company, can't take the approach that somehow you'll be able to pull all this information out of the air. So as much as we want to be the kind of company that looks for efficiency, and we are the kind of company that looks for efficiencies in technology and in every other possible way, the one thing that we will not skimp on is having a professional journalist in every town, someone who's passionate, as Jim was talking about where they live and what's going on there. So that was one of our key differentiators. We also looked at scale, and we knew that if we went into just New Jersey or a small area, it wouldn't open up the level of opportunities that it would if we really tried to go big with Patch. And to do that, we knew we needed a partner, and that's what led us to AOL, that and Tim Armstrong becoming the CEO and chairman of AOL. That was a nice coincidence. But AOL was the perfect partner because Tim was going in with a mission to turn that company around, become the leading provider of content online, and that was very much in line with our mission for Patch. So I'll just walk quickly through sort of what we are. Jim alluded to this. When we built the platform, we hired a bunch of ex-Google engineers. We wanted this to be the best local platform in the world. We realized that we could just turn it on anywhere. It wasn't a matter of technology about where we could be. It was a matter of what communities as a startup would give us the best chance of success. So we wanted to take a sort of half qualitative, half quantitative approach to how we selected these communities. We looked at all the data that was out there, and this is part of the problem. There isn't a lot of data about towns out there. The best that we could come up with was census data. So we took all 66,000 census tracts in America. We built an algorithm that weighted 59 different factors that we thought would be important for a hyperlocal site to be successful. Things ranging from the ranking of the local public high school, and we thought if a town has a very good local public high school, it probably has a very engaged group of parents. Voter turnout rates, we wanted to be in communities where people are very involved in politics and what's going on there. We looked at, as a business, we wanted to make sure there's a vibrant business community in the town. So we looked at number of businesses, the retail spend in the town, the average household income, and probably 45 other factors. We put every tract in America through this. That gave us a rank-ordered list of every community in the U.S. We then plotted it on a map. This graph shows sort of how it all ended up in terms of retail spend. and household income. You can see Darien and New Canaan, two of our more successful towns, are up there on the upper right quadrant. It's interesting to note that all of our towns sort of spread very much in that higher income, higher higher retail spend. That was by design at first. And we also looked at population. So we felt that with one editor and a slew of freelancers, we could cover towns of about 15,000 population to about 100. And that's proved to be fairly accurate. So we plotted all the towns on the map, looked at clusters. We felt that for managing these kinds of sites, we would need a very hub and spoke type management system. So we ended up being very much around urban centers, starting in New Jersey and other suburbs of New York, like Connecticut and Long Island and Westchester, and then going out to Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, Boston, places like that. Let's see. So we set out, once we sold our company to AOL and joined that family, we set out on taking our company from 5 sites to hundreds. And how would we do that? One of the biggest challenges was finding really passionate, great local editors, because we knew, as Jim pointed out, that we can have the best technology in the world, we can have the best infrastructure and operation, but if we don't have that passionate, talented journalist in the town who cares every day about making sure the site is great, we will not succeed there. So we set out on probably what I would consider the most ambitious journalism hiring spree ever. We were the largest hirer of journalists in 2010, which is something we like to say a lot, but actually, every time I say it, it really means something to me, because I think it's so important in this day and age that as traditional media is shedding jobs, we are able to give jobs to journalists, both right out of journalism school and some who have 20, 25 years experience. And our editors do range. We hired 900 journalists in 2010. Among them, we have 7 Pulitzer Prize winners. The average experience is 6.6 years. 31% of them hold postgraduate degrees in journalism. Our regional editors, who oversee clusters of smaller sites, of local sites, average experience is 19 years at places like the New York Times and other news organizations. In fact, we have 2 of our local editors from New Jersey right there. Leah and Joshua, raise your hand so people can talk to you later. 2 of our passionate local editors right there. So this was our #1 challenge, and I think our #1 success to date is that we were able to find and hire that many fantastic journalists. Once we launched our first 3 sites, we were just overwhelmed by the response. We got thousands of emails from people all over the country saying that we've seen what you're doing in New Jersey and we want to work with you and try to launch sites in our communities. That sort of validated what we were doing. I think everyone in the room knows that the demand is there. It's more a question of how we do it. So scale really came into play, as that opens up things like distribution partnerships. And one of the ones we announced this year was with Starbucks. So Starbucks is in virtually every town we're in, if not all. And they launched a new Starbucks digital network where when you go into a Starbucks and log into your free Wi-Fi, you get a dashboard of, I believe the Times is on there, the Wall Street Journal, there's some entertainment stuff, iTunes, and Patch was named the exclusive local provider in or next to any town that has a Patch, either now or going forward. So that was a big win for us. And just one of many ways that Patch wants to be platform agnostic, and with the scale that we have, we're able to do these kinds of distribution deals that that give us even more reach everywhere we are, but very targeted local reach. So that's one example. We're also doing a lot in extending the brand and making sure that we're not just very focused on affluent suburban communities, but we're focused on other communities that make a ton of sense, and university communities are one of those. We've had, from the very beginning, a lot of interest from journalism schools and journalism professors, and certainly journalism students in what we're doing. And those relationships led to a program called Patch U. Most people say God bless you after I say that, but thank you. But we now have, I believe, 100 schools in the program, some of the best journalism schools in the country. We offer, through these programs, internships for journalism students to help write and contribute to the site, but also, I think, more importantly, help launch sites in the communities around the town and give them real-world experience. Adds to the the programs that the journalism schools offer these students, and it's been a great program so far. From the very beginning, when Tim Armstrong sort of conceived the idea for Patch around volunteering in his town, we knew that we did not want to be the kind of company that just sort of swoops in, lands in a town, and does business there. It's important for us to really be a part of that community, and probably the most important way that you can be part of a community is by volunteering your time, money, and service to organizations in town and in the town. So we have a program called Give 5, where every employee of Patch gives 5 paid days a year to volunteer in their community at local nonprofits. And there's me loading some boxes into a food pantry truck. But it's turned out to be actually not just one of those things that we talk about at meetings, but actually a really core part of our DNA and a lot of fun too. Patch.org was a foundation that we formed that we announced when shortly after we had launched. You can see from our algorithm that we do serve very affluent communities that tend to have the same sort of profile. We've gone in a few cases into more urban areas, but we wanted to set up a foundation that would help get Patch into communities that wouldn't normally be commercially appealing to a media company and are largely ignored by media companies. So Patch.org is a way that we can work with community foundations across the country to launch Patch sites in urban or non-urban underserved neighborhoods. We're doing one sort of hybrid site with the City University of New York in Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn, and we're actively looking at partnerships through Patch.org and hope to launch more in the coming year. I talked about the response from the communities, which has been fantastic. Where we are today, so we went from those 3 sites in 2009 in New Jersey. The response was tremendous. We ended 2009 with 30 sites. Now we're at 791 sites, 18 states, and the District of Columbia. So we've launched fast. You can see we love graphs like this. The hockey stick. Our monthly unique visitors have exceeded 4 million in December. So you can see here that Hyperlocal, when you add it together at scale, can become a real business from an audience standpoint. And here are just finally some stats. I talked about the sites. We've got an average household income of $105,000. We appeal slightly more to women. 75% are married, 42% have children in the household. We do a lot of our content programs outside of the hard news geared towards moms and women in general. And a great stat, as of now, Patch is producing a new piece of content every 15 seconds. And this isn't robo-content. This is an actual journalist or a freelancer uploading a piece of content to our site. So that's something we're very proud of. So that's Patch, and I'm looking forward to taking questions later. Thanks.